I once had a manuscript rejected only 24 hours after I hit the submit button. I was shocked. Was my paper that bad? Why did the editor hate it? I didn't understand what had happened. Hi, I'm Karen McKee, and in this video I'm going to talk about why desk rejections happen and some things you can do to avoid this happening to you. A desk rejection is an editorial decision made at the point of submission and before peer review. A desk rejection means your manuscript made it to the editor's desk but went no further. Journal editors have a really tough job. They must screen hundreds or even thousands of submissions per year. They can't all be sent out for review. So a decision must be made. The editor must decide if the paper has a reasonable chance of passing peer review, if it fits the journal's aims, scope, and standards, and if it is worth the reviewer's time. If the answer is no, then the submission is desk rejected. Anywhere from 30 to 85% of submissions are desk rejected. Here are the top reasons manuscripts get desk rejected. The most frequent cause of desk rejection is journal mismatch. The topic of the paper does not fit with the aims of the journal or its readership. For example, submitting a paper on a local environmental problem to a global ecology journal. When deciding on a journal, ensure that you examine the aims and scope, which are usually stated in the guidelines to authors. Consider the references you cited in your paper as to where they were published. They will point you to some obvious outlets that likely match up with your study. Read 3 or more papers in your target journal and decide if yours seems to fit. The second most likely reason for rejection is lack of novelty or important contribution to the field of study. The editor will be looking for a compelling research question, a discovery, a new concept, or a challenge to a prevailing paradigm in the field. If the work does not seem to be novel, it will likely not be sent for peer review. To avoid this outcome, be sure to highlight your paper's important contribution in the introduction and in your cover letter. For example, in this paper, we explained in the first paragraph of the introduction what important topic our work addressed and why our approach would offer new insights into how elevated CO2 might affect plant communities. We didn't rely on the editor to figure this out. We spelled it out in the introduction. And our title, Where Temperate Meets Tropical, helped drive home the point that our work matched the global scope of the journal. Poor writing quality is another reason for desk rejection. Manuscripts exhibiting grammatical errors, confusing syntax, or poor narrative structure may be desk rejected. If your writing is not clear, the editor will have difficulty seeing why your work should be published. Don't assume that the writing can be fixed after the paper is accepted. If the writing in the submitted manuscript is sloppy, the editor may question the rigor of your scientific work and reject it without further consideration. If your manuscript suffers from poor writing, consider getting feedback from colleagues before submission. You might also seek professional editing services or use grammar checking tools. Another reason for rejection is a problem with the methodology. A flawed experimental design, insufficient replication, or vague descriptions of analytical methods or statistics. Plan your experiments carefully. Consult a statistician and ensure your descriptions are sufficiently detailed. A final reason for desk rejection that I'll mention is that the study was too preliminary or narrow in focus. I sometimes review manuscripts based on a single small experiment as opposed to a full-blown study involving multiple field and laboratory experiments that provide an in-depth examination of an important topic. The solution here is to wait until you've gathered sufficient data to tell a convincing story. Desk rejection happened to me only twice in my career. Once because my study was not novel enough for the high-impact journal I submitted to, and another time I didn't format the references exactly as specified by the journal. In that case, I reformatted the references and the paper was ultimately accepted for publication. If your manuscript is desk rejected, it doesn't necessarily mean your paper is not good. Top journals receive thousands of submissions per year and can publish only a fraction. Even if your paper is excellent, the editor must weigh its merits against other submissions and may decide to reject. Understanding why desk rejection happens can help you minimize the risk of this outcome. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe and like my video if you found it helpful.